Welcome to the Awaken the Awesome podcast with your host, Olivier Day. This is Awaken the Awesome, a podcast bringing a down-to-earth approach to personal growth. On this show, we're helping individuals just like you learn about tapping into their incredible potential through insightful interviews and inspiring lessons. Our mission is to encourage you to always keep pushing towards achieving your dreams and to stay awesome along the way. Hello, awesome tribe, and welcome to a solo session of the ATA podcast. Today's Monday, what are we, May 29th, 2023. Wanted to check in with you guys because it's important to always, when stuff goes through my head, it's important to share it. And it was just going through my mind as I was taking some notes today and also talking to my kids, because my kids teach me a lot in terms of, stuff that really gets on my mind, especially along a growth journey, because I understand that I'm raising individuals. And I also believe that when I share these episodes or share these musings with you guys, I also want you guys to walk away with something that's actually worth your while. Saying hi to all the people on Instagram, also the people who are catching in the live on YouTube, because I'm getting a lot of encouragement from people saying we need to see your face more. So I'm trying to do this dual recording thing. So this is going on Facebook, this is going on Instagram, this is going on the Facebook page and the YouTube page. So I'm trying to branch out. So as you see, always work in progress. So today's conversation was about, as the title said it, basically 3 L's. I boil it down to 3 L's: losses, pains, or setbacks that you're probably going to have to experience along your journey. I've certainly dealt with those. I'm just going to basically present them in my own interpretation. And as I believe that these are things that are pretty relevant along anyone towards a growth journey, I thought it'd be nice to, present these. And for people who are probably wrestling with, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? I believe wholeheartedly that setbacks are part of the process. You do not have it all figured out. So where this came from is because over the weekend, some work colleagues basically decided, we're going to go do a group thing, a happy hour thing. We're going to go to a roller rink. I'm 42 this year. I have not gotten onto skates since the age of 12. So basically, it was a family outing. So the wife, the kids, everybody, and, their spouses and stuff. So, okay, let's go to the roller rink. Let's go put on some roller skates and let's go. So this basically goes back to also to a promise I had made to a previous guest, Deja Washington. Hey, Deja, who basically inspired me. And you guys should definitely check out her profile. Deja Does It. I will link it up. So Deja, Dasia, Does It on Instagram. And she basically inspired me. So the last time we spoke to her, I told her before the year's over, I will get my ass on skates. So this was a perfect opportunity, aside also from my kids also being very, 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 very insistent that I get on skates. So why is this so relevant? Is because sometimes you understand that, you will take some falls. And you will take some hits in this life. And that is inevitable because you don't have it all figured out. You don't have a blueprint. And a lot of times, whether you have a mentor or not, whether you have some support or not, sometimes the best lessons are learned through trials, tribulations, and unfortunate setbacks. So the 3 L's, I wrote down 3 that I thought were more relevant for me, at least, and I hope they serve you. The first one, and nonetheless, is basically, the first loss would actually be losing money. Any way, shape, or form, which way you want to put it, whether you want to achieve some kind of financial success, some type of career success, along the lines, we live in a capitalist society, for me anyway. I understand that if you want to build a business, you want to build a career, if you want to learn to exercise these relationships, especially, everybody in this entire aspect of brand building and building career and building whatever stuff that you want to build along the way, you're going to have, when they say you have to spend money to make money, that's very true. But in terms of people who are always in a particular mindset of I don't want to lose money, this is going to be expensive, you have to exercise those demons, because eventually you will make dumb decisions. Okay, can't get out of it. You will make dumb financial decisions. I go back to a time where I was a big fan of WWE, And for some reason, the entire marketing cycle got me. And I walked into a music shop. For those of us who remember buying CDs, I walked into a music shop and I bought a WWE anthology, basically like 3 CDs full of like maybe 40 entrance themes of all the WWE roster. And I thought that was a smart buy. I listened to it once and I never listened to it again. It cost me about like $42. Ask me why. I have no idea why. I threw it away. Basically, I gave it away because I had no use for it. And I realized after buying it, it was a really dumb buy. So that's only a small example of small things that can happen to you along your journey where you will make dumb decisions, whether buying a car you shouldn't have, buying an apartment that was too expensive, moving to a wrong area, getting a wrong job, or signing up for a subscription service you had no business getting on, or buying pots and pans that are totally not worth it, super uber expensive, or buying anything. Take your pick. Every single one of us has some fun anecdote in their closet about making a very stupid financial decision. But you know what? If you're smart enough and if you can put your ego aside long enough, chances are that you will probably learn from it. And I hope you do, because you know what? These are lessons that need to be told. These are lessons that need to be had, because eventually you will have to come to a boardroom. You will have to come to make a business decision, which your experience is going to teach you better from worse. So I hope that these lessons happen to you sooner rather than later. You know, maybe you can make a $40 decision over CDs where you don't have to make a $40 million one in a dumb circumstance. But you know what? This all goes back to taking chances, because sometimes, you know what, you might question yourself, is getting a masterclass better than getting these shoes? Sometimes, what is the return on investment? What can I get from this? Is it going to serve me for the long term? These are the type of questions you need to ask yourself. We are on a journey of growth. So fear of losing money is very real. Okay. I'm not saying go out and be foolish, but also don't be so cautious that you fail to invest in yourself, whether in books, whether in talks, whether in meetup groups, whether in audiobooks, whether it's in training programs. Sometimes don't be afraid to spend money. And sometimes, yeah, you'll sign up for stuff that definitely was not worth it. Truth and point. I've done all of them. I'm not saying waste your money, but I'm just saying, you know what, understand that it is part of the process. Being frugal, and of course, go on YouTube, but being frugal and cheap and free and affordable can only get you so far. I learned this from this podcast. In the beginning, this thing used to be on my phone, and eventually I had to upgrade to a professional mic. And you guys benefited from it, because you guys told me that the second that the audio got better, you definitely realized that there was quality there. So, you know, understand that, you know, losing money is very real, and it's not something you should shy away from. It's going to happen. I hope it's not as damaging to you or your loved ones. So be cautious in that, but it's an L you're going to have to take. So the other one, I got to stop knocking my mic. I'm hitting my mic for some reason. You guys okay? Good. So the second one for me is also very significant. And it's something that I've been experiencing, at least for the past year. I've been talking about it. It's basically about losing relationships. And I really mean this on various facets, whether it's from colleagues, whether it's from friends, whether it's direct family relationships or personal relationships. You are going to lose people in your life, because everyone that steps into your universe isn't meant to stay there. And that is something a lot of people are not comfortable with. It's something I've talked about, and it's something that needs to be reminded. You will lose people. You will lose people, whether through intention, whether by accident, or whether by season. Because understand that we are individuals who are free-flowing, and there are people who are in our lives for a season. Some seasons are longer than others, but we are going through a cycle of seasons, whether through personality or obligations or intention. We are in a period of seasons. And you need to understand that you need to be comfortable with the fact that at some point, this person sitting right in front of you will not be there. So you need to cherish every single moment. You need to cherish and value and acknowledge and empower this person while they're in your life. Because at some point, you will have to wake up and say, like, oh, our journeys no longer coincide. And you have to be very, very clear. You have to be very intentional, and you have to be very respectful. Relationships drawing apart doesn't necessarily mean the person is a bad person. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person. It just means that your journey is no longer aligned. Your intentions no longer align. Your energy no longer aligns. And that is, it's uncomfortable. It's awkward, but it's something you have to be truthful about. And sometimes, again, when I said through intention, because sometimes someone will do you wrong, someone will backstab you, you will experience these, you will experience betrayal, you will experience heartbreak, you will experience defiance, you will experience confrontation, and sometimes you will simply experience absence. Some people will just fall off, and just like a season, just like the leaves fall in that's the word, the fall. Just like the leaves just disappear in the season, it's perfectly fine. Some die, some don't never come back, and some do grow back and bloom. But it's very important to understand that you need to get comfortable with the fact that you will lose relationships, and some relationships will have to be redefined, reassessed, rearranged, and some will just have to be disappeared. And you have to also understand and take valuable ownership of what serves you and what doesn't, what pulls energy out of you or what fuels you. And sometimes, because those also relationships fall out, and you have to be very honest about that, is the fact that maybe you're the wrong person. You are the person that needs to be adjusted. You are the person that needs to realign your energy. You are the person that needs to define what you bring into the relationship. And sometimes you are the wrong person. And that is okay. Ask yourself those right questions. If you want to have that conversation with the person you care about, that is very true. That is true in marriage. That is true in relationships, whether in business, whether in personal. That is true in friendships. I've lost very, very dear friends. I've gained new friends. That's okay. And sometimes I can also admit, and it's funny to say that, and I can put it, if I can put it very crudely, you're an asshole to someone. I can genuinely tell you that no matter how nice you are to people, chances are you have been or are an asshole by someone's definition or scale. And that is okay. That is okay. I'm not saying be an asshole just to everybody. Sometimes we try our best, and we, again, may not be the right person within a particular environment. So you need to know, first of all, who you are and what environment is ready and willing to accept you as you are in this season. All right. So get ready to take that L, because they are going to happen. And also, I think this is also very important, because I can't take that away, because this is a personal lesson, and I hope I'm not making this gloomy for everybody. One of the most powerful lessons I learned, and this is especially from losing my son, and I told this to my wife, one of the most powerful lessons I learned, and I said this in the episode where I did talk about it, is the fact that life goes on. All right. When you experience certain types of loss, you quickly understand what matters to you. And through that experience that really shaped me, and I hope never happens to my worst enemy, you understand that life goes on. Because no matter what happens, as long as you're happy where you are with what you have, with the person next to you, sometimes that's all you need. And that is not throwing shade at anyone, but you also need to also accept what matters to you in this moment. So as deep and dark as life can get for you at sometimes, whether these relationships are by the 1,000 or by the singles, what needs to be important? Does it fuel you, or does it deplete you? Life goes on, and it's better with you in it. Right? So that was the second one. So we talked about losing money. We talked about losing relationships. The third one is kind of more existential. Call it woo-woo, if you will. But this one I can't set aside, because these are things that I've personally experienced. I want to talk about losing yourself. All right. Losing yourself is treacherous. It's painful, and it's often subtle, because you're so intent on your journey. You're so grinding. You're so dedicated. You're so you're so focused on this one direction, sometimes you don't even realize that you're going in the wrong direction. Because busy doesn't necessarily mean effective. Doesn't mean this because you've been putting in so much time and you've put in so much sunk cost into something that you refuse to take the L of the fact that, you know what, I have lost myself. This is no longer my journey. This is no longer my purpose. This is no longer what I see myself as. This is not what I set out to do. This doesn't fuel me. This does not, in any way get me jazzed in the morning. What is this about? Where am I? Who am I? And as woo as it sounds, guys, it's very important to know where you are, who you are, what gets you up in the morning, what gets you jazzed, what makes you laugh. Because if you're going to put in blood, sweat, toil, tear, investment, relationships into something, it better be something that matters to you, that drives you, that makes you genuinely give a damn. I've experienced that, put in time, whether in relationships, whether in jobs, even in myself, activities, hobbies, that eventually I kept telling myself, why am I doing this again? What is your why? What is your core? Why are you doing this? These are dumb questions, but that have so much weight, and that sometimes people refuse to ask themselves. Am I really where I'm supposed to be? Am I doing what I want to be doing? Am I doing something that is worthwhile? Am I doing something that gives me purpose? Am I doing something that gives me truth? It's scary, but you need to ask yourself that. Does it matter enough to you to get up in the morning? Again, I'm not stupid. Dreams cost money. We all have bills to pay. Wife, 2 kids, mortgage, and a full-time job. Hasn't changed. Still going on. Still strong. Still doing this. And every single day, every time I show up here, I show up with intent and purpose because I aim to serve. You guys matter to me, and this is why I'm here. What gets you up in the morning? What is your why? And do not lose yourself on that journey, because you need to ask yourself the right questions. I gave you a bunch of them so you can actually stay your own course. My journey is not yours, but it's a scary feeling to eventually realize that I've been pushing myself along a path which is not my own. I've been fueling somebody else's dream. I've been basically, watering somebody else's plant. What am I getting out of it? 2 weeks vacation? Okay. No, really. You really need to tell yourself, I'm not telling you drop your job now. A job is a job is a job, but it better be something worthwhile. All right. If you're at a 9 to 5 or a job that is not fulfilling you, it better be with a purpose. It better be with an intent. You need to have an exit strategy. It can't just be because you don't think that you deserve better, because you do. Right? I've lost myself along the way. And because this is why I can stand here or sit on this comfy chair. Thank you, Alex. On this comfy chair and let you guys know that this is something that you need to ask yourself. It's a very consequential and intentional action you need to take towards yourself. Ask yourself the right questions, making sure that you do not lose yourself. I've seen it. I've experienced it. And I know a lot of you sometimes are in your own little world, in your own confusion. Am I really doing the right thing? I can't answer that for you, but I can guide you and tell you that, you know what, there are questions that you can actually look in the mirror and tell you eventually, okay, are you on the right path? If you are, I'm applauding you from wherever these words find you. I'm applauding you. Just so you know, you are not alone. You are loved, you are cherished, and I am seeing you along your journey. So a quick recap, 3 L's that you will probably experience along your journey. The first one, losing money. We've all experienced it. All right. Losing money is going to happen. Eventually you're going to have to invest in yourself. You're going to have to invest in your business, invest in your craft, invest in your tools, invest in your knowledge, particularly. All right. So that's important. So you need to make the right investment, the right choices and the right partnerships to make sure that, your money is going in the right way, because your money needs to flow. Your money needs to be acting. Your money needs a purpose. Every single dollar you make needs to have a job. So that's something I learned, for good or for worse. Everybody's going to make dumb decisions. All right. Everybody's going to make dumb decisions. It's going to happen. So I'm just hoping that those mistakes those lessons are going to be learned earlier and sooner and smarter rather than later. All right. Losing relationships, something I'm very big about. Be very real, be very intentional about the relationships that are in your life. Take ownership, take accountability, and take good inventory of the relationships in your life. All right. Don't just collect people just to collect people. If you're out to serve, serve. If you're connecting, connect to serve. Connect to be a person of intention and truth, not just someone who's just afraid to be alone. All right. You will lose people in this life by intention or by accident or by sheer seasonal growth, evolution. It will happen. You will lose people. Get comfortable with that. All right. It's sometimes by no fault of your own or theirs. Doesn't make you a worse person, doesn't make them a better person. It just so happens that we evolve, and as people, we are just giving each other more room to grow along our journey. And the third consequential one, losing yourself. Don't do that. It is not worth it. Take time with yourself, whether through meditation, whether through prayer, whether through just conversation with a person of trust. Make sure that you are going along the right path. That is helping you grow, and that is helping you along the journey, not lose sight of the fact of the incredible individual and incredible energy and resource that you are in this world. All right. So that's what I got, guys. I'm not going to keep you long. Thanks so much for checking in. I'll try to make a little bit of these lives a little bit more regular. I don't have a schedule yet. This is a new format that I am trying, but I hope you guys appreciate it. If you guys have any comments, make sure to drop some comments either in the comment boxes on the Facebooks or the YouTubes of the world. So again, this is just me working some stuff, but if you appreciate it, I would love your feedback. It's always appreciated. But until the next time, until the next episode, stay blessed, stay safe, and as always do, stay awesome. This has been another episode of the Awaken the Awesome podcast. We always love to get your feedback, so please do drop us a line via Instagram, Facebook, or email. Our email address, awakentheawesome@gmail.com. Do visit our official website at awakentheawesome.ca, where you can find our entire back catalog of episodes and incredible guests. Also, if you haven't already, please hop on over to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, give us a rating, and leave us a review, as this helps us tremendously in growing this podcast and spreading the word to more awesome listeners like you. We always appreciate your support, and thank you for listening. Stay awesome.